In the headlines, a new group of Dominican students received Cuban scholarships and government is hoping there are future medical specialists among them. A housing settlement for Pititsavan people in Bellevue-Chope could serve as a blueprint for rebuilding other storm-affected communities and recommendations for the plant protection and quarantine lab following an assessment to identify setbacks and improve operations. I am Kenny Williams with the Channel 5 News. Details after this. First up, the government of Dominica is taking steps to fill gaps in its healthcare system. The lack of specialist medical professionals on island is about to be rectified within the next few years. This as another group of students is heading to Cuba later this year to pursue various university-level degree programs, but primarily in the field of health.
This year, what is very significant for us in the ministry is that we are able to get positions of studies persons to go and study in areas of high priority for the Ministry of Health. We have no gastroenterologist in Dominica, from Dominica, and we are very delighted that this time we have gotten one of our medical doctors to study gastroenterology. We have no endocrinologist, and we are getting that opportunity also. And we have been having issues in imaging and radiation, and then this we are also expecting that we'll get one of the scholarships.
The Cuban ambassador resident in Dominica says his country is committed to helping Dominica develop its health sector.
As you know, for a number of years, we have had a conflict with US. So for that reason, we have some economic problem. Despite this, we are making a big effort in order to provide this scholarship to Caribbean countries. We are not a rich country. We share that we have. We have a great high level in education. That's why we are providing this scholarship to Dominica. The future doctors will come, maybe they will work in the new hospital. Yeah. And the civil engineers and architects, so you will come to rebuild Dominica, okay? So this is our contribution to Dominica.
The relationship established between Dominica and Cuba over the years has benefited Dominica in terms of technical assistance and the development of the country's human resource capacity.
We have maintained a strong belief that the economic development of our country is directly linked to the degree of investment in our human resource capacity. Consequently, a highly skilled and fully trained population signifies a valid precursor to economic prosperity and a higher standard of living for our people. This has been the rationale for the development of government's vision of achieving one university graduate in every household.
Shanice Lewis, Ted Henderson, Shanice Laza, Sherrian Wilkins, Marla Thomas, Dylan Pierre, Calva Alexander Henry, Felicia Laurent, Cale Benjamin, Tysley Ambrose, and Stacia Austri received their documents at a ceremony held at the Cuban Embassy on Friday. More lead stories. A lab expert ended a mission on island Friday to assess the Division of Agriculture's Plant and Quarantine Units lab.
A project within the Eastern Caribbean by the OECS Secretariat brought Shivana Lee to Dominica to identify the setbacks at the lab and advise ways to improve its operations. The 6-month project covers the larger Eastern Caribbean states, and out of 6 of them, Dominica was Lee's last stop. One of her recommendations is that all procedures done at the lab have to be documented.
The project involves helping labs that do agricultural health and food safety testing in the region, that's in the Eastern Caribbean region, to upgrade their technical and their quality infrastructure, basically to improve their systems as much as possible.
While here for 2 days, she conducted training with the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit staff on how to develop a management system for their lab. This will be the first step towards getting accredited.
The reason for that is most labs international labs. A lot of them are accredited to an international standard called the ISO 17025 standard. So what the OECS is trying to do is help the labs in the region, including this one here in Dominica, to upgrade to the point where they can be accredited to this standard. And the reason for that is because then your test results are accepted anywhere in the world. I'm going to give them what is called a gap analysis report, which would highlight any gaps that they have that could be improved upon, and how my recommendations on how to do that. So then it would be about developing the system, putting it in place, and then the final step to that would be accreditation.
So I know your formal report has not been released as yet, but can you give us an idea of what some of the critical things that you've seen here so far?
Well, the lab is doing a lot of the things right, what they're supposed to be doing. The main thing that I'm seeing is like maybe they're not recording all the things that they do. And one of the things about the ISO standard I was talking about is if you don't have the records to show that you're doing it, then it's as if it wasn't done at all.
Accreditation would depend on how long it takes the country to develop the system and how soon resources are invested to upgrade the lab. Lee has estimated that once all this is achieved, accreditation can be obtained within 2 years. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
In other developments, the business community has made recommendations to the public sector on how to properly respond to disasters. Island Manager of Tropical Shipping, Tamara Lowe, says a recent disaster management workshop spearheaded by her company was an avenue for government officials, including those from the Ministry of Public Works, Office of Disaster Management, and Air and Seaport authorities to listen to the private sector.
They were given vulnerability analysis to complete. What happened was they would identify the disasters that most affect them and look at how prepared they are, what resources they have within themselves as an organization, and what resources is available from the public sector. The idea is to establish and maintain a relationship with ODM, DAIC, DHTA. So in the event of a storm, there's an open line of communication, there's a relationship built on trust. So everybody knows what their role is, everybody knows, like I said, who to contact, who's in charge.
Lowe says based on the feedback from representatives of the private sector, she is satisfied that they have been empowered to better deal with the impact of natural disasters. She says many of them have expressed commitment to come up with business continuity plans.
You would have seen from the disaster management workshop that we focus heavily on business continuity plans. Even participants that were not able to make it to the workshop, they were calling and asking, oh, I heard you had, you were given tips on how to do a business continuity plan, and I've been thinking about it for so long, and I really need to get this because after Tropical Storm Erica, it took me so long to, get back on my feet. So our primary concern as a company after a disaster is that our employees and our families are safe, and the second priority is that we assist the country in getting the supply chain moving. That means getting relief supplies into the country, getting food into the country, getting water into the country. In order to do that, the idea is that the private sector has to be equipped.
Clearing of 49.6 acres of land at Bellevue-Chopin for the housing resettlement of Pitit-Savan residents is well underway. That's according to Chairman of the Housing Resettlement Committee, Lucien Blackmore. On Thursday, the government of Dominica signed a contract with Montreal Management Construction to build 315 houses on that lot of land. An additional 50 petrocasas have also been embarked for construction on this area in Bellevue-Chopin. Work is progressing smoothly for clearing of land for the houses from the Venezuelan government.
That site that was chosen is the one right adjacent to the existing low-income scheme that government placed in there a few years ago under the housing revolution. So it's right next to there. As we speak now, the substantial site preparation work has been done. The lots have been subdivided. We have about 72 lots out there, which we already have the site cleared, the boundary lines established, the building limit set out, And then the formation or the reduced level of the foundation is already established for 21 of those lots already. 35 are already all demarcated, and the actual limits of the house, of the foundation, has been set out.
A Venezuelan firm has been contracted to build 50 petrocasas in Bellevue-Chopin.
The contracting firm that is going to be up there is one Venezuelan bus firm by the name of Megawheel. They are the ones already have the contract, which is of course part of the gift from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. And as we speak, we have already started site meetings with the team, and very shortly we're going to start the actual setting up of the site for the storage of the material and the site office and accommodation for the men and the workers. So it's very practical, and it's a very advanced and ready state for again seeing a very tangible aspect of the resettlement for the Petersburg area.
A team of experts from UE St. Augustine in Trinidad is expected on island over the weekend to assist with hazard and engineering support for this housing program. As the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States celebrates its 35th anniversary on 18th June, an official with the organization says CARICOM can learn several lessons from the smaller regional groupings. Acting head of the OECS Competitive Business Unit, Marlon Marie, says this grouping has proven to be very beneficial and CARICOM can learn from the advancements of the OECS.
There are many lessons to be learned looking at the OECS. Normally what you find is that the OECS, we are quicker to come to agreements in terms of moving things forward in terms of policy. CARICOM can take a note out of that. Sometimes you have some of the larger islands, so to speak, not necessarily coming to terms with certain agreements of the smaller islands, and sometimes that can be a hindrance. But, you know, looking at it from the point of view that together we stand, divided we fall, we can achieve a lot more than we are achieving right now.
The Treaty of Basse-Terre establishing the OECS was signed on 18th June 1981 among 7 countries, namely Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. However, over the past 35 years, the OECS grouping has grown to include the associate member states of Anguilla, the British Virgin Islands, and Martinique. Marie says the grouping has many accomplishments to its name.
And for us, 35 years has been a long time, and we have many major achievements, one of which is the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, one of the strongest central banks in the entire world. And we are very proud of that. We have the Eastern Caribbean Civil Aviation Authority, ECTEL, a number of different agencies. And for us here in Dominica, we have the Competitive Business Unit, which was formerly the Export Development Unit, and it's important for us to continue the work that we previously do. We have been engaged in small, medium-sized enterprise development.
On 18th June 2010, the revised Treaty of Basse-Terre was signed, which established the OECS Economic Unit. The acting head of the OECS CBU says members of the grouping are looking for ways to further deepen their integration.
Looking towards the future, we look at regional integration. 2 weeks ago, we actually had a meeting on the single domestic space where we brought persons from across immigration, customs, the police, etc., looking at border management and how it is we can really achieve that level of regional integration where you have free movement of people through an integrated systems. This is really important because we want to ensure that the ideal of regional integration is met. I can move from one country to the other and get government services and private sector services without the hassle of re-establishing myself within a country.
The 35th anniversary is being celebrated under the theme OECS at 35, connecting people, integrating ideas, moving forward. You are watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, more on a new settlement for the people of Petit-Savan. Thanks for staying with us. A community leader of Marigot is advising his people that any action being considered over the relocation of Marigot's health services be as non-violent as possible. While chairman of the Marigot Village Council has said he would like the community to allow the authorities to execute their plan first, he says he does not have a problem with demonstrations of disapproval on response to the matter.
I'm not going to say totally that they should not, because I mean sometimes there are moments when you might have to do something in order to get the necessary result. Still, on the other hand, I still think that the health officials have made the commitment, and we cannot just go totally ahead of them. We still have to wait and to give them the sufficient time. I think after, if the time that they give is exhausted and nothing have been done, whatever necessary might have to be done to see that the facility is back on the stream. But if it's going to bring the result faster,
Samuel has made it clear that he is not advocating for any aggravation.
so that it's whatever that is being done, that is have no violence and nothing to that sort. You know that whatever is done in a peaceful manner. There is nothing wrong about, you know, the whole idea of protest or whatever the case is, but it's just that it's done proper and it's done in the right manner and it's done legally.
Plans are underway to transfer the Marigot Health District's health services to 2 buildings in the community due to a mold infestation. The Accident and Emergency Department is currently operating from the Wesley Health Center. A new settlement for displaced people of Petit-Savan, for which a contract was signed on Thursday, is expected to serve as a pattern in restoration efforts in other communities affected by Tropical Storm Erica. Government signed a contract with Montreal Management Consultants Establishment on Thursday for the construction of a housing settlement scheme on 49.6 acres of land at Bellevue-Chopin. 315 residential houses will be built, 45 commercial and 4 communal. Among the 315 residential units, 51 will be single-bedroom, 146 two-bedroom, 73 bedroom, and 48 four-bedroom units.
We want to use this as a model so we can bring out, because don't forget we have the people in Coolibistry, we have people in Campbell who are at risk. I mean, I visited Campbell some time ago with the parliamentary representative who is the acting prime minister, and that's a sleeping time bomb. It's a sleeping time bomb we have there, and we have to move fast. The land is sliding their way. And I mean, when you look at the sort of rainfall that's coming to Dominica in terms of climate change and what we're experiencing, we must move fast. And we don't want, sad but true, another Petit-Savan to take place in Dominica. And we grieve with our people from Petit-Savan what they suffered. So as we continue to move with the concept, we will provide more accurate budgets for you on that. But we must take our people, local contractors, into consideration, so there will be changes here and there.
A minimum of 200 Dominicans, including subcontractors, will be gainfully employed on the Bellevue Housing Settlement Scheme.
I think we have to put this thing in the proper perspective, because the land on which those houses will be constructed and the infrastructures will be actually constructed, the roads, the nurseries, etc., the community centers. The land was private land and had to be acquired. You're talking about 49.6 acres of land that the government of Dominica had to acquire. I'm saying that to give the people who are listening a clear picture that although we are soon to see actual physical work, but the work had already begun because you have to plan. And we have already acquired the land. The designs have been finalized. You see? So the hoopla that was created out there by persons who have been involved in constructing a negative narrative, everything is dark and gloomy, does not represent the true facts.
A yoga club to be established here to coincide with International Yoga Day. Dr. Lucia John explains how this idea came about.
I had a conversation with the High Commissioner of India, who is in Trinidad right now. He covers the CARICOM area. And, you know, I brought up the idea of having a yoga club here because on the 21st of June, it's International Yoga Day. And he was very happy about the idea, and he suggested, especially the children, get the children to practice yoga, to become more flexible. When they're more flexible, you know, the mind functions better, they can study better, their behavior will be better. and stuff like that. Now, there's a great need for that, not only the behavior of the children, but the health, you know, because just with yoga exercises, you can lose weight. Just with yoga exercises, your whole behavior, if the behavior is not adequate, it changes because yoga relaxes you also. You know, so not only the children, the young people need that badly. And it gives them an activity that they can do in the morning before they go to school or work, and in the afternoon when they come back from school or work, you know, so it keeps them sort of balanced.
Experts say yoga could be included in physical education classes in schools. Yoga could also help manage chronic pain.
When we have pain, especially chronic pain, we cannot move that area. But with yoga, it is so subtle, it is so gentle that you get to make that area flexible so the blockages just fall off and the person can move the limb or, you know, whatever part it is again.
Dr. John says yoga helps promote mental health, and those who practice it also make better food choices, leading to a healthier life. The yoga club will be launched on Sunday, 26 June at 30 McIntyre Lane, Goodwill. Beach football tournament continues this weekend. That and more in your sports highlights next. First up in sports, the 2015 Fast Cash Harlem Football League Awards ceremony was postponed by Tropical Storm Erica, but was in full swing on Thursday. At the ceremony, various teams and individuals were awarded for outstanding performance in the league. Among those awarded were Randolph Peltier for top goal scorer and best striker. The man with the most exceptional goal saves was Dion Laura. Best defender went to Prince Austri. The player that was most effective in the midfield was Lee Walters. And the league champions were Aeropost Dutch United. The 2016 Soccerama kicks off on Saturday. On to cricket, we can tell you that 4 Dominicans will get a chance to make their country proud at the upcoming 2016 Regional Under-17 tournament carded for Trinidad. The Dominicans on the squad are Taj Tavernier, Daniel Dupini, Micah Joseph, and Jasion Alexander. The team is expected to have a 3-day training and bonding camp in Trinidad prior to the start of the tournament, which will run from July 10 to 20. The semi-finals of the 2016 Sports Division Swiss Embassy Primary Schools Netball Festival Division 2 will take place at the DGS grounds on Tuesday, 21st June. At 3, it will be Siniku versus Paybush Primary, while at 4, Tetmon will come up against Pioneer Prep. Meantime, in quarter-final results recently, Siniku beat Grand Bay 24-9, Paybush led their game against Massac 21-16, Pioneer lost to Roosevelt Douglas Primary School 12-11, and W.S. Stevens lost to Tetmon 3-9. Still in sports highlights, one Dominican has been selected to join the ranks of the Windward Islands Volcanoes team. Jolani Robinson found favor in the eye of selectors and was drafted on the West Indies Cricket Board's Professional Cricket League list of players for 2016. The other drafted players were Nasang, Delron Johnson, Tariq Gabriel, and Sherman Lewis. Meantime, the Digicel Augustus Gregoire Premier Cricket League continues on the weekend with one match. Grand Bay Colts will take on Tremors at Botanic Gardens at 10 a.m. Moving on to basketball, there were wins for Intelco Security Raiders and Paybush Snipers in the 2016 Flow DABA League on Thursday. In Game 1, Detroit Blazers went down to Raiders 58-73, and in the second game, Kyrie FM Old School suffered a loss when they were defeated 63-69 against Snipers. The competition continues at Lindo Park when Intelco Security Raiders face Kyrie FM Old School at 7, followed by Fashion Line Falcons versus EH Charles Crossover at 9. Both games play on Saturday. Then on Sunday, the competition will be split at 2 venues. In Paybush, Eliminate Styrofoam PSS will come up against Lady Panthers at 5. At 7, it will be Paybush Snipers against Young National Under-16 team. And at 9, Eagles and Fast Cash Prowlers will take to the courts. And at Massac, Ronald Charles and Willie Barbershop All-Stars will do battle with Tigers at 6. Back on the football scene, well, following the Soccerama last weekend, the 2016 Layu Improvement Committee Titiwi Beach Football Tournament continues with 3 scheduled matches. On Saturday, Ghetto Youths All-Stars will do battle with Sand Pirates at 4, while on Sunday it will be a showdown between Party Team and Lacqua at 2, followed by a clash between Arizona Boys and newcomers Signman Football Club at 4. The competition seeks to develop beach football on island and is sponsored by the Sports Division and Panam in Layu. In weekend sports, Dominica will be looking to recover from defeat in their final match of the Windward Islands Women Tournament when they face Martinique on Sunday. Dominica went down 3-0 against St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the opening match on Wednesday. Sunday's game is carded for Windsor Park at 6 p.m. That's all the sports for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us again next time. Here now is your weekend weather forecast.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janelle Macpherson. A high-pressure system today resulted in generally fair weather conditions across the Eastern Caribbean. Visible satellite imagery showed fair to partly cloudy skies across Dominica today. Radar imagery indicated a few scattered showers across the island chain. However, no rainfall was recorded on Dominica today. The weather for tonight, fair to partly cloudy. Tomorrow, increasingly cloudy skies with scattered showers mainly during the afternoon period. Seas tomorrow moderate in open water with waves peaking up to 7 feet. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, increasingly cloudy skies with scattered showers and a possible isolated thunderstorms expected by Monday due to the passage of 2 tropical waves. Persons in areas prone to flooding, landslides and falling rocks are advised to exercise caution. Across the Caribbean tomorrow, increasingly cloudy skies with scattered showers mainly across the southern portion of the region due to the passage of a tropical wave. On the international cities forecast, fair weather conditions in New York and Beijing, possible thunderstorm in Miami and Caracas, rain expected in London. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:35 a.m. and sunset at 6:38 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and have a good weekend.
And in a brief announcement, the Ministry of Health and the Marigot Health team informs the residents of Marigot and Concord that as of Monday 20th June, the Marigot Health Center will be located downstairs the home of Mrs. Mary Williams, opposite the Marigot Police Station. The regular health services offered at the Health Care Center will continue as usual. All emergencies should be referred to the Wesley Health Center, which is functioning as the Accident and Emergency Department. Please be guided accordingly. To end the news, the headlines again. A new set of Dominican students receive Cuban scholarships and government is hoping there are future medical specialists among them. A housing settlement for pitted Savan people in Bellevue-Chopin could serve as a blueprint for rebuilding, constructing other storm-affected communities, and recommendations for the Plant Protection and Quarantine Lab following an assessment to identify setbacks and improve operations. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. We wish all fathers happy Father's Day this weekend. On behalf of the production team, I am Kenny Williams. To our viewers around the world, thank you for watching. Have an awesome weekend.